What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's time for another live recap of what went down on yesterday's episode of Teen Mom OG. I have to let you know, like right off the bat right now, I'm a little bit off my game just because I was supposed to be working with another co-host for this recap and she's not here. So I'm a little bit shaken up by that right now. Just trying to figure out, recalibrating how I'm going to do this recap for you guys, but that is a-okay. Also off the bat, I want to give a really quick welcome to my newest channel member, Jaylene. You joined at a really, really good time. I'm going to be doing a story really soon about how I have like full body hives, like overstressed right now. It's so bad. I don't know if you can tell on my face or not. It's like webcam quality, so you cannot see, but I have been dealing with so much stress that I'm like just full body hives. And I'm digging into that in a video for you guys shortly. I see Julia is here. Julia, let me add you to the stream. Hey, Julia.
Hi. How are you? I'm so sorry about that. I think there was a little bit of a lag. Sorry about that.
No problem. Everybody, this is our co-host for the episode. This is Julia Lynn. She is a YouTuber. She is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful YouTuber, but don't hear from me. I want to let her tell you all about herself and what it is that she covers on her YouTube channel.
Hey guys, I'm so happy to be here. Grace, thank you so much for having me. You are absolutely the best. I really appreciate it. So essentially, I'm just a vlogger. I vlog about my life, about mental health, relationships, everyday kind of things that people go through. So I do some recaps from Teen Mom and things like that. But primarily, I'm just a vlogger. But I love Grace, and she is amazing. So thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited. It was a really in-depth episode. So we have a lot to talk about. Real quick, I was telling everyone earlier that I have like I'm having like hardcore like breakouts of like full body hives from stress. And so Ramster's asking corona stress or other stress. We'll get into it real soon. It's a lot of things, but it's mainly just, corona related, of course. It's just how it affects like, your day-to-day life and like business transactions and stuff that you're doing. Like it's had a really negative impact and it's been stressing me out. Lashanta and everybody says hello. Thank you guys as always so much for being here. We're so happy to be able to recap what went down in this week's episode with you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. So the episode kicked off with Catelynn thinking about becoming a vet tech. And she says that this is because she loves caring for animals, which to me, I was like, since when is Catelynn known for like loving taking care of animals or anything like that? Just because she used to have that therapy horse where she rarely ever really actually saw the horse. And so it was quite mangy, you know what I mean? And then she also had that micro pig for all of like, what was it, Julia, like 12 hours or something like that? Oh no, can Julia hear us? Julia? Oh, there seems to be a lag with Julia's new connection. Okay, I'll just keep her on here in case her audio kind of picks back up. But are you guys in the chat also able to hear me out or anything like that? Julia, can you? Oh. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of comments about, oh gosh, what a good idea for Kate. Exactly. Like she was not good with her horse and then with her pig as well. So after that scene breaks out, Amber and Andrew reach a temporary agreement where she can see James 3 times a week. And she claims that she's happy with that. I'm going to tell Julia, sorry, try logging back in. Okay, so so Amber and Andrew. Amber lets us know that she is going to be seeing her son James about 3 times per week. And she's like, okay, this is a good amount of time. Like, I'm sad I'm going to be missing out on some time with my son. But, I'm interested in starting to date again. And anyone who's going to date me needs to know that my kids come first, which remember, you guys, she's been she's been exposed so many times by Gary and everybody that she rarely ever sees Kate. I'm pretty sure that the average person sees their doctor more times a year than Amber sees her daughter. So I really don't get what was going on over there with Amber. She's always trying to fake this like mother thing, and it just does not really suit her, because we all know the receipts are all out there about her. And speaking of Amber, her baby daddy, Andrew, gets another scene on the show. Guys, remember how a little while back, Andrew told the producers that he was not going to film for the show if he was not given the same pay as other people? Does his kind of resurgence on the show mean that he's being paid the same amount as other people, or no? Because he goes ahead, Julia's back, so we're going to pull her in and see if her audio is working now. Are you able to hear and talk, Julia?
Yep, I got you. I can hear you now.
Perfect. So now we're at the part where Andrew is meeting up with JC. He gets his first little solo scene, and he talks about how being in a relationship is not currently on his radar, which is a huge juxtaposition between Amber, because Amber was just talking a little bit earlier about how she already is interested in dating, and how, you know, people who are going to be interested in dating her need to understand that her kids come first. So let's dig into that scene between Andrew and Amber's producer, JC, and get into what it was that he said about moving to California potentially with his son, James, in order to kind of rebuild up on his career.
Yeah, it would be in my best interest for my future, for his future, to move there. I need to get, you know, a life back. Like, I took a chance and flew out here, put my career on hold, to have a family with her. I'm just a guy who's like been just in the relationship and trying to repatch, you know, pieces of my life.
So there he is. Andrew is saying that he wants to go back to California with his son, and he feels like he put his career on hold to start a family with Amber. Did that kind of jump out to anybody else? What did you think about that particular statement, Julia?
Well, you know, I know that he did some production assistant work on Marriage Boot Camp. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It was wild ride. I know Grace and I saw that. He did some, so basically he was holding the boom mic, which is, you know, basically how you get the microphone to, you know, go over and get people's audio. But from what I know, I don't know his personal work history, but it's not like he was a Steven Spielberg. You know what I mean? So I don't know about his career. Perhaps he had some things in the works. But that did seem a little interesting to me. Like, he put his whole career on hold. I wasn't sure what that meant per se. But I know he does something within the film industry. So
that's what I
really
do too. You know, I felt the same way. Tremaine up there was like, what career? Holding a microphone, which I kind of felt the same way too. I was like, listen, dude, like, I looked at his IMDb and he didn't really have that much stuff on there. Like, everything he had was volunteer. And when he didn't have a volunteer thing, it was that Marriage Boot Camp thing where he was holding a microphone, watching Amber act a plumb fool and be incredibly like psychotic. You know what I mean? So you put your career on hold to follow this person that you knew was unstable. Okay. And then the second thing that jumped out to me was when he said to start a family. I was like, I don't know if like knocking someone up in 9 days can be determined, you know, can be described as you putting something on hold to start a family, or if it's just you saying, you know, I wanted to make the most out of my one night stand situation. You guys, like, that's the thing. Like, I've been saying it all this time. Like, I support Andrew a lot, but what I don't understand is why he tries to take us for fools. You know what I mean? I'm like, why do you keep trying to act like we're dumb? Like, we know that you knew she was, you know, 50 shades of crazy when you got with her, and you did not plan to put your career on hold to be with Amber. You know, like, you knocked her up in 9 days. Start owning your SHIT, because it's hard to keep supporting someone who takes people for fools. Kaylee says, I think Andrew was incredibly naive, thinking he could have a life with Amber, knowing what she was like, but no one deserves what she put him through. Exactly. Like, no one deserves what it was that Amber did to him. And it's just, you know, incredibly incredibly wild that like he knew what she was like before he walked into it, eyes wide shut. Erica says, I hope MTV brings Andrew to the reunion this year. I hope the same thing as well. But the thing is, coronavirus does not want us to have a good time. So will there even be a reunion, or is it going to be just like this virtual everyone all around the block situation? It just sucks that we finally get really compelling storyline here with Amber where she can be taken to task, and it's not even going to happen, you know, because of this damn virus. Andrew being shady doesn't justify Amber going full machete on that guy. I absolutely agree. I just don't like that he plays around with his words to mislead people. Mackenzie McKee goes out to lunch with her mom, whose cancer is getting progressively worse, unfortunately. So she's sitting there with her mom, and I think that this was a producer planted situation where they asked her to talk to her mother about her going ziplining. And I don't know that I liked it or not. So I'm going to play the clip for you guys, and you let me know what you think on the other side of this situation. So let's play it over here and see what we've got.
You had to take it easy, and you weren't doing very well, and you weren't feeling very well. And then a video pops up on my phone of you ziplining. Hang tight.
I'm like Peter Pan.
The doctor says, take it easy, and you go flying across the woods on a zip line.
You know what? You live one time. You only live once. When will I ever get a chance to zip line again?
Guys, what did you think about that situation? I was like, okay, chill, you know, like her mom's cancer was already so far developed that ziplining was not going to be the thing to take her over the edge. Like if she wanted to do that to enjoy herself, let her do that. You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't get it. Like, but again, I don't think that that was a Mackenzie thing. I think that it was a producer-driven plot line. What do you guys think about that in the comment section? Let me know. So I'm going to pull up some of your comments that you've got here. What are you guys saying over here about Mackenzie's situation with her mom and that zip lining thing? Like, I was happy. Exactly. I'm seeing someone over here. Keen is like, if I'm terminal, I am living how I want. And you know, exactly. Like they gave her, what, a couple of months 2 years ago. Meanwhile, she's still here. Like, you know, she was living on borrowed time at the time. So we really just needed for her to just enjoy herself. And then, you know, on the other side, like Annie's saying, I can see why Mackenzie was concerned as well. Like, yeah. It was two sides to everything. And I'm seeing Kay. Kay is always here. I adore it. Yeah, I absolutely agree. There's so many more dangerous things to do. Ziplining is not that bad. I'm like, you know, ziplining, what do? You sit there and hold the strings and just go down the line. Like it's really not the hugest deal here. But you know what was really quite sad was watching her mom talk about all the things that she didn't want to leave behind, you know, in preparation for passing away. She was like, I'm so stressed out about paying off my mortgage and everything. I don't want to leave your dad alone with that giant bill. And I just, it's so sad hearing people realize that their life is about to come to an end. And, you know, just Mackenzie having to go through it on camera with the rest of everybody. Like it was just, you know, really sad to see over there. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, Cheyenne jumped her boyfriend, Matt, off camera, but then she meets up with her sister on camera to talk about what the final straw was for her within that relationship. And the final straw for Cheyenne was what we've been talking about ever since the season actually started up. Like it was weird and rude for Matt to just roll up to her house and kind of almost impose himself as her new roommate, knowing that she's got a daughter and lives with her sister who also has a son. You know, so this is the clip I'm about to show you guys from Cheyenne explaining that to her sister over lunch.
You know, still going back to like his move and stuff and how I felt like put on the spot when he moved. It made me like kind of taken back because I explained to him a million times, like, I'm not doing what I did in my past relationships. Like, I'm not just going to move someone in and I'm not just going to move out. Like, it wasn't going to happen that way.
So what did you guys actually think about that? Did Cheyenne make the right decision over there? Or did she not give Matt enough of a chance to find his footing within Los Angeles and move out? Like, it seemed like she was like us, where we're like, I don't know that Matt is only temporarily living with Cheyenne. It seems like he wants to actually live there with her. Brittany says, Shy was so real in this scene. I feel like Amber needs to take a note out of her book. It's okay to let a relationship go, sometimes. Like, it does not have to drag on. Matt moving in was the breaking point. What else am I seeing? Matt wants his 15 minutes of fame. Yeah, like, it seems like everyone is on this exact same page with Cheyenne about why she would have let Matt go. Remember, Matt has like some kind of a music career that he's trying to pop off as well. And Cheyenne did allude to the idea that he might have been using her for that particular like end or purpose or whatever. So yeah, like, it seems to be the common theme over here. And so it's great that Cheyenne was able to recognize that and get rid of him before, he really kind of like got overly comfortable. Now, after the scene, we zoom by literally 2 empty kind of random scenes of Maci. So we've got Jen and Larry talking to Ryan and Mackenzie about wanting to take Bentley ice skating. And then after that, we flip to Maci and Taylor talking about how they feel like Ryan has relapsed. And it's like, okay, guys, how long have Maci and Taylor been talking about Ryan relapsing? At this point, it's almost like they can just, take the one scene of them discussing the idea of Ryan relapsing and just keep copying and pasting it in every single episode of Cheyenne's, not Cheyenne's, of Maci's. Like, we get it. You think Ryan relapsed. We all think Ryan relapsed or whatever, but like, what else is going on in your world, really? Now, let's get back into the Kate situation. So like I said a little bit earlier, Catelynn wants to become a vet technician. So let me put it up in the side so I can set y'all up really nicely here. So Kate goes over to her local vet clinic, veterinary clinic, and talks to the vet technician there as the vet technician is shoving a thermometer up her dog's ass. So that gave me a little bit of a laugh. And by the way, as she went over there to speak to the vet tech, she left the children with her allegedly relapsed friend who, is allegedly on heroin or something like that. I was like, really, girl? We don't have other babysitting options here. We can't wait until Tyler. Like, where was Tyler at this point? But, I digress. If they could let April babysit Nova and what's the other one? What's the other one? She's named after an Instagram filter. What is it? Veda Luma. If she could let April babysit them, then you know what? Like, the bar is really on the ground. This other chick babysitting is not gonna be the end of the world. So she leaves the kids over there with that girl. And then she goes to the clinic and she asks the tech about what kind of schooling is required in order to become a vet technician. Okay. And so the veterinary technician tells her about it. And then Kate goes, oh yeah, like I was thinking about this, or maybe like becoming a vet even one day. The only thing that kind of stopped me from wanting to become a vet is how long the schooling would be. I was like, really, girl? How long the schooling would be? Not the fact that you flunked your way through middle school. That was in her book, that she flunked her way through school. And the only reason that she was never held back or completely failed was because she was in a school that didn't even do that. So anyway, she makes these bold assertions, goes to the vet technician, and listen to their exchange, you guys.
Oh, okay. That's just something I'm trying to get more info on.
When did you start thinking about becoming a vet tech?
It's been for as long as I can remember.
Okay.
Like growing up, it was always like veterinarian stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to go to school for that long.
Yeah, but the program's pretty intense.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah.
Not to scare you or anything, but when I was in it, they made us take English and math, and yes, we do use a ton of math.
Wow.
And then we did all the pharmacology, the ins and outs of all the drugs.
Oh, okay, right.
And then you learn like all the breeds, so all the dog breeds, cat breeds. We dissected cats.
Oh, wow.
To learn all the anatomy of it. The best part is C-sections.
Oh, I bet.
We do abdominal surgeries and stuff. And then we did drawing blood out of cattle. It was pretty cool because you do it out of their tail.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
So how did you guys feel about Kate going to the technician and sitting down and talking there? She seemed, especially as someone who's claiming that she was going to become a veterinarian, she seemed amazed at the idea that people who work with animals would need to know math and science or the different breeds of all of these animals. She's like, you need to know science. You need to know the breeds of these things that you're taking care of. Wow, that's interesting. It just made me laugh a little bit. But again, you know what? Kate has really picked herself up off the ground this season. And I am so happy to see that for her. Like, it is amazing, amazing to see her not only like living life, like with a light, a twinkle in her eye, but like with an interest in trying to figure out where she fits kind of like in the world and what it is that she wants to do with her life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought that that was really amazing at the very least. Like, she seemed like to know nothing, which is interesting because she claims she wanted to do this her whole life. She is a sneeze away from 30. She has not worked like, you know, outside of the home, a regular job, a full-time job since she was what, like 20 years old. So like 10 years ago. And she's never had the time to look up the information for this job that she supposedly always wanted to do. Like, everything is a surprise to her. Okay. But, you know, again, I'm really happy to see this for her. By the way, I wanted to point something out. I didn't show the clip of it or anything like that, but a little bit earlier in the episode, she was talking to Tyler about how she wanted to go check this out and everything. And then she asked Tyler what his goals are and like where he sees himself in like 5 to 10 years or whatever. And Tyler didn't have an answer, which to me was quite interesting, just because in the past, that was Tyler's biggest, you know, bone to pick with Catelynn, let's say. I'm losing my words right now. So that was his biggest thing was, I want to do all these things with my life. I want to like flip houses. I want to write poetry. I want to work on my children's line. I'm doing everything. And Kate is sitting at home in her bathrobe and I think she's repulsive. Now, all of a sudden, Kate's got motivation. She's trying to figure out what Tyler's motivations are, because for all the motivation he talked about having, he hasn't really done anything, right? And he doesn't have an answer. So to me, I was like, it's kind of interesting how things change. Like, there seems to be a little bit of a flip within their relationship. But again, I'm glad to see Kate finally have a sense of direction in life, like some kind of sense, which is great. Meanwhile, in Indiana, Amber's ready to move her relationship with Dimitri off of Instagram and into real life. Guys, Dimitri is 39 years old. He lives in Belgium. His English is not that great, and he's got like 2 kids. So like the fact that she, like all of this, none of this is really kind of deterring her or anything like that is a huge red flag. But the fact that it doesn't, you know, deter him either is another huge red flag. So I really just, this whole thing is a whole entire mess. She's like, people are always in my DMs, but this is the one who stood out to me. And you know what? The only reason why he stood out to her was because apparently he didn't send a picture of his DICK. Like, the bar truly, truly, truly is on the ground, you guys. I'm telling you. Andrea, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go back and see what you said here. Kate barely takes care of her own kids, but now she wants to be a vet tech. You know what? I think the issue with her was the depression that she was going through. But like, yeah, I see where you're coming from again. I'm like, you know what? Hopefully now that like she's on the right amount of medication and she's awake again or whatever, like this will be the kick in her pants to be more present within her family, with her kids and everything. With the animals, she already has too. Andrea, remember her horse that's been mangy and stuff, like neglected, all alone, the pig that she got rid of in like 24 hours, like with everything in her life. Hopefully this new proper dose of medication that she's on helps her with every single thing that she's trying to do from here on out. So Jen and Larry, they take Bentley ice skating while Ryan and Mackenzie stand by, literally on the sides of the ice rink, don't engage or anything. They just look like random people who are there to watch kids ice skate. And Mackenzie couldn't skate because she was pregnant. So I'm going to give her a pass on that. That makes 100% sense. But Ryan just, I guess, didn't want to. And when they got back home, they bitch about it, as always. They're always complaining about the fact that Bentley has all these amazing activities to do with parents who love him. You know, they should be happy for him that he has all of that. But of course, as usual, they just bitch about it. And Mackenzie, being the crappy stepmother that she is, she goes, Oh, well, it was a waste of time. Since when is your stepson enjoying ice skating with his grandparents, with his stepbrother, a waste of time? I really, really, really don't understand what that was all about. Like, she's always looking for a way or a reason to antagonize a situation. And it's just so disgusting to see from her. Like, she has never changed. And I don't think she'll ever change. She's just a mess. Like, she just wants to cause rifts within this family, and it's just so embarrassing to see. So let me show you guys a little something else over here. We've got another scene that we're going to get into when Ryan and Mackenzie are discussing all of this. So here we go.
Did you enjoy ice skating?
I wish I could have. I wanted to ice skate with Hudson so
Did you?
bad. Yeah. It was kind of a waste of time.
It's whatever mom says and plans I make. They get brushed to the side.
His time's just kind of dictated by everybody else.
When it comes to Bentley, nothing I say matters. You know, it's not like I'll make him cut the damn grass, but you know, you're gonna have simple rules.
Yeah.
Just like jumping on the damn couch and throwing the ball in the house and blah, blah, blah.
Isn't it interesting to anyone that Ryan is always complaining about Bentley's lack of discipline, but Ryan literally have had no discipline growing up. And anytime his parents try to set him in the right direction, like in any single, like no matter how nice they approach him, he is flying off the rails. So he's out there claiming that his mom always undermines him anytime he tries to discipline his son. And then he straight up calls Bentley disrespectful. And guess what our Black Widow, Mackenzie, says? She agrees with him on television per usual. She doesn't understand that her role in all of this is to be kind of just let everything play out between his dad, well, not his dad, his brother and his mom and his grandparents. Like, none of this is her place to be out here calling this child disrespectful, calling his activities a waste of time or anything like that. Like, she is just, I don't know, like I just cannot, I can't with her. I think she's a terrible, terrible, terrible stepmother. You know, you guys know what I think about her. I think her motivations for being with Ryan and around this family are not pure in the slightest form. Melissa says, shame on them. It's so amazing how active Bentley is. That's a huge commitment from parents and child to be part of a team. Exactly. And the key word in what you're saying there, huge commitment from parents. And, you know, these people are not parents to Bentley, so they don't understand how much effort his actual parents are putting into allowing him to be a healthy, well-rounded, very occupied child, like very active. Like, so many people would pray for their children to be able to do half as many things as Bentley gets to do. You know what I mean? He plays baseball, he rides dirt bikes. What else does he do? He plays golf. How bougie is that? Like, he gets to ice skate. Like, this kid is living the dream, you guys, and all they can do is complain about it. And I honestly, like someone else said up there, that Ryan wants to be the only spoiled child in the family. And it just seems more and more apparent that that is the case. Like, he hates competing with his little brother. Tar says, Mac needs to shut up. I think she's very uneducated, and you're right. She's trying to be a teen mom herself. Yeah, she wants to be a star on this show. And it's just, girl, just be supportive of this child. You're supposed to be the neutral party between everybody, and you're doing a terrible job of all of this, to be honest. Meanwhile, the other Mackenzie, the one we like, her mom fainted. So she's in the hospital with the family, and Mackenzie asks people to donate towards a GoFundMe to help her mom pay off her house before she passes away. Mackenzie's scenes were so difficult to watch, you guys. They truly, truly were. Like, her preparing her son Gannon in the car to see his grandma in the hospital, it was hard to watch. Like, it honestly was hard to watch, but Mackenzie handled it as beautifully as she always has. Like, last season, remember when she was telling Gannon that the mom was about to pass away, you know, because the doctors didn't give her that long at all. So she was already preparing him as far back as last year. Well, here she is doing it again. And I just cannot imagine ever being in her position. But, you know, as always, she handled it with so much grace, so much compassion, like so appropriately. You know, she really needs to be amazed by herself, by what she did here. So let's Try to get through it together, you guys. Let's watch this scene together. It's so heartbreaking, watching what Mackenzie's been going through this season between the trifling husband and her mom passing away.
Listen, Danny's not gonna get to come home from the hospital, okay? Never, ever, ever. How do you know? Because I think it's time for her to go to heaven. Can you just be a good boy like she would want you to be? Because this may be our last day with her, okay? She loved you very much. Will she be there at Christmas? I don't think so.
God, when he asked that question, about whether or not his grandmother would be there at Christmas. Oh my God. I don't know how Mackenzie did not break down and cry. My God, my God. Diane says, I cried during these scenes. I lost my mother to cancer 15 years ago. It was a little too close to home for me. So sorry for your loss, Diane. Like, these scenes are so hard to watch. And I can't imagine, having been in the same place as Mackenzie, it probably, hits home way differently, for people in your position as well. Like, it is so devastating to see. It was really, really tough. Like, it's, Mackenzie was so important to this season. She really, really was. Like, I felt like she was the most impactful story of the season. And you guys know, like, if you remember my recaps from last season, I said, I was worried that MTV only brought her in to be grief porn for people and that they would discard her again. Because remember, she's a guest of this season. She's not listed on the official cast. Like, if you go bottom to cast bio, they only have the 4 girls and not Mackenzie. I'm like, MTV, you better keep this girl because she bled out for this show like no one ever has on Teen Mom 2 or Teen Mom OG. And so, yeah, like they have to keep her because it would be a shame if they used her only for this and discarded her like, yesterday's news. Like, we love Mackenzie. We've grown attached to Mackenzie and we want to continue seeing her story. Like, it's a very real story. And, I more than anybody else, I want to see what happens with Mackenzie. Melissa says, I couldn't watch Mackenzie this time. I just lost mine 2 weeks ago to cancer also. It was way too hard for me to watch that right now. So sorry, Melissa. Oh, you guys' stories are heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking, how unfortunately common it is to lose people that you love to cancer. Like, this is just not fair. No one should have to go through this at all. God bless Mackenzie and her family for sharing that with us because it's hard enough living it, but having to do it on television, no words. Seriously, no words at all. Meanwhile, in Michigan, Catelynn decides that she doesn't feel like she has what it takes to become a vet tech anymore while balancing motherhood. Guys, I'm going to sound like a total douchebag. And maybe this is because I don't have kids or anything like that, but I just don't know how I feel about her saying this because in my opinion, there are so many women who go to school, not even just like vet tech school or like a college diploma or high school or whatever, a bachelor's degree. There are women who go through advanced degrees, MBAs, law degrees, medical degrees as mothers and as wives while balancing not only motherhood, but like full-time jobs, husbands who also have full-time jobs so they're not home 24/7. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, Kate doesn't have to worry about going to work or anything like that. She doesn't have to worry about Tyler going to work. He could be the full-time parent there with the child. You know what I mean? So the fact that she blamed her inability to do the vet tech thing on motherhood, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh. You guys always do let me know when I'm being too harsh. So let me know. Am I being too harsh or could she, she's in a better position. Like, you cannot deny it. She's in a better position than 90% of mothers out there going to school, So I don't know how I feel about that being her excuse. It kind of bothers me a little bit. Kate always has plans. She never follows through. See, that's the thing. It's been very consistent. My God, my mom kept down a full-time job, raised me, and went to night classes. Cut these excuses. Hey, Laz, welcome to your first live. I'm so happy to see you. I'm seeing a lot of you guys over here are kind of like in the same kind of situation over here with Kate about, yes, it's difficult, like having kids and everything, but you've got a lot more help and a lot easier of a situation than 99.9% of the mothers who are doing this and kicking ass and taking names. This is another really good perspective as well from Trisha. She says, Kate knows her limits. That's the most mature thing she's ever done. You can't compare people and how they cope. That's another really good perspective as well, that she's admitting, you know what? I knew I had aspirations to do this, but I just don't have the capacity to do it. Again, really good perspective as well. My mom did it twice. See, I'm seeing a lot of stuff over here. This is really good, you guys. Okay, so it seems like there's a little bit of a mix over here. I'm seeing both good and bad. I'm seeing she'll get bored and quit. What else? No, I'm not being too harsh. Okay, that's awesome. You agree. Okay. I went through undergrad, graduate, and I'm working on a doctorate with a child I damn sure don't have MTV money. Kay, look at you kicking ass and taking names. That is freaking amazing. Like, it's so interesting to me because I don't know if you guys watched my Beverly Hills recaps or anything like that, but what was it? Lisa Rinna's kid. So Lisa Rinna put her kid up in a luxury apartment, okay? And her one job is to go to school, and she had to drop out because, she was too stressed out to do that. And I was like, there's so many kids with anxiety, depression and stuff who work and go to school. I don't know. It's something about money that makes people seem to not be able to do anything or whatever, like the slightest inconvenience and they have to stop and like retreat or whatever. And it just, I don't know, it feels like a huge disservice to yourself. But this is Catelynn explaining exactly why she decided that she could not move forward with that vet tech program to her husband, Tyler.
About that. I'm just talking about schooling.
Today when I talked to her, she's like, it's a lot of science, a lot of math. I'm like, no.
You know what though? There's always fear.
She's like, you gotta learn every single dog breed, every single cat breed. I'm like, what the?
I think you're just afraid of failing. I feel like that's what it is.
So who's in the right here? Did you think that Tyler was right when he told Kate that he thinks that she is just afraid of failure? Because that is another really good perspective as well. Because a lot of people, we're going to turn down my light here. A lot of people have a fear of failure. A lot of people have a fear of success that paralyzes them from starting anything, So I don't know. That was another great perspective from Tyler. But again, the thing that baffles me more than anything is how could this woman not know that she would need to know the species of animals at the very least? Like, sure, math might be like, throw you for a loop. Why do I need to know math? Okay. But science, the name of the species of animals, like you really didn't know that you would need to learn that? Okay. Like, did you actually want to do this for a job, or are you just trolling for a storyline, you guys? Diane says she doesn't want everyone to see her fail on national TV. That could very well be it. Malin says, pot, meat, kettle. It's true, because Tyler always talks about what he wants to accomplish, and yet here we are, like, what's really going on here? Maci beat him to putting out a poetry book. I was like, no, that's Tyler's thing. What's going on here? That was supposed to be your thing. I really want him to continue doing the things that he enjoys doing and actually like putting forth the products and whatnot. Like he did the flipping and stuff and renovations. He did the first book with Kate, and he also launched a kids line. So just keep pushing forward. I would love to see him continue pushing forward with everything. Let's see. I think Tyler might be worried if she fails that it would set her back in her mental health. Ooh, that's a very, very interesting one there over there too. Yeah, that's a very, very interesting perspective as well. And then towards the end of the scene, you guys, I also wanted your take on this. Towards the end of the scene, she goes, I'm going to take this as a sign that I need to go back to therapy. The fact that she found out what she needed to do vet tech and intimidated her, and so she backs out of it. To her, that's a sign that she needs to go back to therapy. What do you guys think about that? Because to me, it was like, I don't know, like, really? I don't know. Why would she feel like she needed to go back to therapy for that? Maybe it's because she needs a new sense of direction or something. I really don't know what the situation over there was, but I was like, honestly, she could go grocery shopping and find out that they're out of like pickles, and she would be like, I need to go back to therapy for this. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't get it. I'm like, okay, you guys are rich out here or something, because this is kind of interesting. Randy's like, seriously? Yeah, you guys. Yeah. Like, I think it's great that she does therapy to try and better herself and everything. But I'm just like, why can't you just look for something else that you're interested in? She's like, maybe I could just be a receptionist there, which again is great, just so long as Kate is out of the house and feeling productive and fulfilled. That's what anyone could want for her. That's what she wants for herself. So it doesn't matter what she's doing as long as she loves it. Why do you have to go back to therapy for that? I don't get it. Rebecca says, Kate never should have stopped therapy. Sometimes you need to go to therapy for years and years to learn to cope with your past and learn new coping skills. I agree. Yeah. I'm surprised that she even stopped. I thought that she was continuing to do it, and that's why she was doing so well. We saw her with her psychiatrist a couple of times. So I thought that she was also still seeing her therapist as well. So I was quite surprised to see that. Kaylee says she doesn't need an excuse to go to therapy. She could break a nail and need therapy. Honestly, like it's kind of baffling to me. Or maybe it's because therapy is so expensive. I'm like, how damn rich are these people to be going at the drop of a hat for every minor inconvenience? I think for her, therapy helps her talk through things. Some people are great at being introspective alone. Others need to bounce things off of others to find answers on your own. Really, really good perspective. And you know what? I would not be surprised if that was the situation too with Catelynn as well. Again, I really like that she decided maybe I'd be better suited as a receptionist or something like that. Just as long as Kate's out of the house and feeling happy and productive, I'm happy too for her. Back in Indiana, Amber told Gary about this Dimitri guy that she had been seeing. And Gary, as always, is, kissing her butt. He's like, oh, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like, oh, he doesn't speak English. There's only one language, and that is the language of love. I was like, really, Gary, you were so damn disappointing this season. Like, words really, truly cannot describe how far up Amber's ASS this guy has been. Like, Christina was asking the real question. She's like, he's from Europe. How is he going to be able to have a relationship with Amber with the citizenship problems? And not only that, he's got 2 kids that he has in Europe. How is this going to work? They both have kids in different continents. What's going on? And he also doesn't really speak English very well. And Gary's just brushed it all off. He really does not want to say a single negative thing about Amber this season. And I feel like more than anything, it's just being really... it's just been a really disappointing look at Gary, you guys.
And I hope he's supportive.
I was talking to Amber, and she had mentioned that she met somebody, so I don't know exactly, the ins and outs of how they met. I think it was on the internet. I know he is from France area, more so Belgium. So I know he has kids. I know one's 13, the other one might be 11.
It's going to be hard if he's got kids there and then Amber's got kids here. Like how will a long distance relationship work? And I think there's a language barrier too.
But there is one language we all speak. It's love.
Sure.
Christina goes, okay, sure, Jen. Like, I don't even want to engage with you on this anymore just because you're going to play dumb. Someone upstream said, oh my God, Amber had to have paid Gary to just play dumb this whole entire season and not go against a single thing with her. And, it seems true. Like, the way he's been behaving is just so disappointing. Then we actually get to see this leading man of Amber's. I'm just fishing for it in the background for you guys. And not only do we finally get to see his face, we also get to see how bad the language barrier between the two of them actually is. Amber drove me nuts in this particular scene because, okay, you guys, like a lot of you guys who've been here for a while, that I've been teaching myself French. And so one of the most annoying things as a language learner is people who speak to you in slang. Like, that this is not my primary language. That like I would not get your slang because I'm walking into a new world. So why are you speaking to me in slang? I was like, why could she not have said the full damn word? What is she doing here? It drove me nuts. Guys, take a look at the language barrier between them and what they have to look forward to in their future.
You look cute. I'm comfy. Comfy. Do you know what that is? You know what comfy is? Comfy. Comfy is... What's another word for comfy?
Comfortable? Oh, Jesus Christ.
And she had the nerve to go, oh, Jesus Christ, girl, just use the full word. Like, the good thing about French is a lot of things cross over. If you said comfortable to him, he'd be like, oh, we've got something simpler. Confortable. The what do you call it? The context is similar enough. I get what you're saying. But she goes, comfy. What's another word for comfy? Comfy, comfy. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, girl, just use the full damn word and all would have been well. Because you know what? Although his English is not spectacular, he's able to communicate with people. Just don't use that damn slang with him. Yeah, a lot of you guys were like, why could she not have just made the jump from comfy to comfortable? And by the way, TFM is bringing up what I wanted to bring up next here, which is that earlier in the episode, Amber claims that she's doing things way differently than she always does with her usual boyfriends, right? Meanwhile, by the end of this conversation with the Belgian guy, she goes, so are you excited to be here for 3 months? How is Amber moving a homosexual into her house any different than what she's always been doing? The only reason that Dimitri is only staying 3 months rather than indefinitely is because of the visa. His visa only allows him to be in the US for 90 days. Why is she acting like this is the new and improved? She turned over a new leaf. And, I have another question for you guys. Amber's been saying that she's too embarrassed to see her daughter, Leah. She's been ghosting Leah for months now. And the reason is she's too ashamed and embarrassed based on the way that she's behaved. She's not too embarrassed to be in Instagram DMs looking for a new man. Things that make you go, because, it's way overdue for Amber to say that, you know what, I just don't want to be a parent. It's not my thing. It's cramping my style. My daughter's going to do her own thing, and I'm going to do my own thing as well. Come on, girl, stop it. Brittany asked, so he's staying with her for the whole 90 days. How is Andrew going to feel about that? Couldn't he use that in court? We're about to see how Andrew feels about all of this. I know that the show has been really setting us up for the storyline about that. When Andrew was with JC and talking about how dating was not even on his radar because of the situation that he was just in. Someone else asked, but I lost the comment. The comments are going by super quickly. There it is. Julia, isn't she not supposed to be using social media? Well, she's not supposed to be posting the child and James on social media or talking about her court case on social media, but she is free to troll around for foreign DICK, apparently. Okay, so now we're back to Mackenzie McKee. And, again, things get really, really somber. Just a heads up for everybody who was super affected by everything that she's been going through with her mom, that's what we're coming up to again right now. So just to set the scene for you guys, so they're all in the hospital, and her mom, just seeing how weak she was quite devastating to see. So her mom is in the hospital. This is one of her final days, and they're letting her know that they paid off her home for her, so she could pass knowing that. And I was like, oh, thank God for that, because that was something that stressed Angie out quite a lot. But just notice how hard it was for Angie to even find the breath to say thank you. To me, that was so difficult to see, you guys. Check it out right here.
It is. Your gift this year, Miami, came together and your followers came together and your house is paid off. You'll have enough money to get your house paid off and you don't have to worry anymore. They came together. I love you.
And then the transition from the scene of watching her in the hospital bed, too weak to even say that she loves everybody, to them being outside of the house, praying for her and singing for her. Oh my God, you guys, I'm about to show it to you right now real quick. Julia was with us earlier in the stream, but unfortunately she was having some tech difficulties and had to drop off, but she will be back for another recap. You guys, this scene was so heartbreaking, but the transition between the two, I felt like MTV did a really beautiful job.
Amazing grace, how
So they all go to her house and just sing in prayer for her mother. And oh my God, you could just feel all the love that was there for her mom surrounding them, just like Lavender T says over here. Like, it was really, really, really difficult to get through. But, you know, again, Mackenzie has been the most important part of this season. Like, she is showing some really, really gut-wrenching stories, you know, between the infidelity of her husband and the passing of her mom. You know, it just really reinforces what a POS Josh is, that he had been putting her through all the anguish while she was already dealing with the stress of knowing that her mom was about to pass away. You know, like, who does that to someone that they claim to love? And then on top of that, you want to do this like vow renewal, fake wedding situation with me, like knowing that all this is your fault. Leave me alone. I'm trying to enjoy my last couple of days with my mom. I don't want to be running around town stressed out, trying to figure out, you know, how to do a vow renewal just because you don't know how to be a husband. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like very, 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 very sad to see. Yeah, she shared more in the, you know, this past 2 seasons than anyone else really has in the whole entire series. And like I said a little bit earlier, I hope MTV does not use her and discard her after this. She really needs to come back for the next season. I wanted to kind of get you guys' take on a comment, if you don't mind. One of my friends on Twitter, Eason David _88, asked a really good question. Okay, so she asked, she was like, how is it that all of these girls were out there supporting Amber with her domestic violence thing, but they couldn't be there for Mackenzie? And you know what? Up until she posed this question, I never even actually really thought about it. Like, I don't know, like, it just kind of seemed like they were on different shows or series or whatever. So like, it just never really even crossed my mind. But when she asked, you know, how is it that they haven't kind of done a crossover in that kind of respect, I kind of went, you know what, maybe that's something they're going to show in the subsequent episodes or something. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see what happens there. I'm seeing some people say, you know what, that's a really good question. Maybe they're not close. That's so strange. I think Maci lives pretty close too. Even like, they didn't even have to go to the hospital or like the wake or anything like that. But just to see, you know, someone being like, hey, Mackenzie's losing her mom. She's doing this GoFundMe thing. Why don't we come together and donate as girls of the show? We make what, a collective, guys, oh my God, I'm exposing how slow I am. A collective like $2 million, right? Why can't we donate even like, I don't know, $100 each, $1,000 each or something? We didn't see that. Why can't we all call her or something? We saw Kate trip over herself to call Amber like 10 times, you know? We didn't see anything of that, but maybe it's going to happen a little bit later on in the season. I don't know, you guys, but it was a very interesting take from my Twitter friend, Eason David _88. And I'm really curious to see what you guys' opinions. Maybe Mackenzie didn't care for their fakeness, you know, maybe. Yeah, I never thought about that. Very good question. I don't think they filmed at the same time. MTV paid them to go support Amber. See, there's a lot of really, really good takes here. Cheyenne actually has since tweeted about it. She's like, I was praying for Mackenzie, but as these scenes were going on, but did she actually reach out to her when this was happening? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, you guys, that's it. The time always flies by for these recaps. I absolutely love recapping the episodes with you guys every single week. So as always, thank you guys so much for being here. And I hope to see you guys again next week. I hope you're also doing well with the quarantine. I know that the fatigue and stuff is really starting to set in for a lot of people, myself included. So yeah, just keep hanging in there, you guys. Keep enjoying yourselves as much as possible on the inside, finding new ways to explore and everything in the meantime. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. I know I hate the end of it, but you know, all good things come to an end. This is a really great way for all of us to connect, you know, while we're under isolation. So it's really amazing that we're able to do this. So thank you guys so much for all of your love and support. Welcome to my new channel members. We've got a new video coming up really soon. And, you know, as always, stay safe, everybody, and have a really good day. Bye.